There we go. Anyway, I'm back for episode 9 of Star Trek Picard at in Arcadia. ET in Arcadia. I don't know. Something like that. We got some super chats off the hop, which is great. Jason6690, $2. Felt like I was watching augments from Enterprise. A little bit, yeah. So thank you very much for the super chat. Um, yeah, this episode was not great, not awesome, kind of middle of the road. So I wasn't super impressed with it, to be honest. But hello, everyone out there. How you doing? Hope you're having a good, safe, happy, healthy time. So, as always, guys, if you want to super chat, please feel free to do so. I'll try to get a lot of the questions or comments that you guys have, but I'll have to be skipping around a little bit. So if you want me to see it for sure, super chat is a great way to do that. So, this episode was crap. This episode was great. Right after each other. That's awesome. Matt Mon at Foley. The title, Latin roughly translated to "End in Arcadia." Arcadia being paradise or utopia. Okay, cool. And everybody hit that like button. Make sure you hit the like button. It was great crap, says LDG Pixels. So, not if you guys know, but spoiler warning. We will be talking spoilers, obviously. So if you haven't seen it, you don't want to know spoilers, don't watch this until you've seen the episode. But yeah, I kind of agree with Thribs, to be honest. He says bullcrap on not being Soon's kid. He thinks it's lore. I would kind of buy that, honestly. Because yeah, Soon didn't have a kid, and goddamn, if he did, he has some strong genes. Because his great great grandfather that was an Enterprise looked like that, then Soon looked like that. It's like, wow, how many? Anyway, yeah, he had me, and then he made Data. Yeah, grab some water, you will feel better. I've got some lemonade. It's actually, my cough's been really quiet today until I start talking a lot, and then all of a sudden it ramps right back up. It's in my throat. It's not my lungs. Don't worry. Spiner plated as lore a little bit. Even the the evil, yet super super sexy new Soji came off very much sounding like lore as far as her lines and her delivery. So maybe she was modeled after lore. I don't know, but Victor Garcia Trekyards don't understand the human Soon, especially since Data's mother had stated that her and Soon couldn't have any kids. This has to be lore, right? Well, he could have had an illegitimate kid with another woman. Everybody's overlooking that fact. Like, it doesn't have to be her kid. So I mean, there's that. The Trembler, though, throws in $10. Thank you very much. I liked it fine. Most of the big problems for me were with Black Story in the android camp, especially Soon Jr. existing, and the learning of mind meld. The same events could be done with a better backstory. Yeah, the mind meld thing bothered me a little bit too, because as we know, if you look at any of the old medical reference manual, Vulcans can actually emit like a electrical whatever from their fingertips. That's why they're able to mind meld. So I mean, she's android. I guess that could be possible, but to say it's a learned skill, I don't know. Jeff Jacobs, $2, 58 likes. Nice. I like this one. Again at 100. I was happy that Spiner was back. Um, I just wish it would have been Data in some form. Um, yeah, I don't know. LDG Pixels $2. I swear CBS is just making this crap up. Well, they're making it all up. It's fictional. It's not based on true events or anything. So, uh, Nick Momberg, didn't Data say he would put Lore back together when he knew how to fix him? And they really should have said the guy was Lore fixed. Well, yeah, and it might come out that it is something like that as well. We don't really know, but we'll see. The show would be way better if Adam Driver was in it, says Adam Driver. I would agree, but there'd be a lot of whining and moping and, you know, violent outbursts, and we'd just be not great. Will Data be uploaded to the Golem? The Golem, maybe. That'd be kind of neat. And they definitely have an opportunity to do something like that with that kind of MacGuffin there. So, flying power hungry orchids. All right, the flying orchids thing kind of bothered me a little bit. It reminded me very much of the animated series, and I've heard other people say that as well. But they were neat visuals. I just didn't quite understand them, especially how the ones attacked the Borg and like hung on to the corners and that somehow down to Borg cube. I don't buy that for a second. Um, yeah, I want to address a few things that Anti-Trekker and Bird of Prey were talking about earlier too. They're wondering why the well, first of all, why was there power on the Borg cube? There wasn't enough of the flowers to actually encase it and dwindle the power supply as much as the La Serena, obviously. So it still had power. I didn't have an issue with that. Now they had an issue with them fixing the food replicators. Why would they need food replicators? They're Borg. They could just plug into an alcove and regenerate. They're not Borg drones. They're XBs. They've had all their components removed. They're essentially back to being people. Ugly people, deformed people, but people. They need the food replicators, which are the Romulan food replicators, I'm sure. So no issue with that at all. There were some other points they made, which I'll probably end up remembering during the course of all this. But there's just things where I'm like, I wish I'd seen it live so I could have chimed in because we're just missing some obvious stuff. I don't know. Anyway. Data did the nerve pinch. Yeah, I can see the nerve pinch. Again, it's kind of explained as some of the electricity, whatever, electrical, whatever that the Vulcans can do actually is what's responsible for the nerve pinch. However, I can see the nerve pinch actually still working if you do hit the right cluster of nerves. So, I'm not too sticky on that one. Dave Catone, no Enterprise E or F, no space exploration, no story. Ozzy says he loved the Borg cube crashing on the planet. Yeah, I thought that was kind of great too, especially when it entered the atmosphere and you got this shock wave that just like passes over the La Serena. That was great. Nick Monberg, Picard show is a mess. The sooner it goes, the better. Star Trek has been destroyed by these poor shows. Well, then don't watch it. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm kind of middle of the road. I do enjoy watching each new one. Could they have done better? Yeah. Should I think it? Do I think it shouldn't exist? Sometimes, but overall, if you don't like it, don't watch it. It's pretty simple. Darren Young says, is the race of androids the ancient race from TOS? Probably not. Although with the way they throw just casual references in on little things, maybe. And Mr. Andrew means me. Wonder if the imagination device repairs the Borg cube. Yeah, the imagination device. Use your imagination to repair things. Looked a lot like Link's little flute thing that he's got in Ocarina of Time or whatever, where he's got to play the notes. It looked like that. It had that vibe for me. But yeah, it would be interesting to see if they get the Borg cube up and running to help with this battle. We got 218 Romulan warbirds coming in, which they didn't all look like warbirds. We did get a look at the preview and the last shot where they zoom out. That's a different ship we haven't seen yet. The other ones, you can see some in the distance there. Those were the ones that we saw around the cube in the last episode that warped out. So they're not all warbirds, so I hate when they do shit like that. But we'll need to talk about that on Trekyards for sure. Josh Jacobs says, I think it's lore with the evil plan, and I'm worried that this is going to be the replicants. Darren Young, Picard will be uploaded to Golem. I can see that too, because they really implied that he's going to die like any second. Especially considering what he said to Seven. She's like, keep trying to save the galaxy. He's like, that's your job now. And then he kind of walks out into this like symbolic bright white light. So kind of hinting that he's going to die. A lot of people have speculated he's going to die at the end of this season or something. So who knows? Who knows? Dave Catone, Seven wasn't in it that much. No, she wasn't in it enough. She looks really great, though, I gotta say. I don't know how I feel about Elnor sticking around with her. I think they kind of created the character and then went, oh, we don't know what to do with him, so we'll just shuffle him off with Seven here. It's fine. It doesn't really fit in the rest of the story, which is kind of annoying. Some person says the Lost Serena flies right into the flower. Why not try to avoid it? Yeah, it wasn't really played very well. I think they were maybe trying to avoid it, but it just came at them. But I don't know. Jeff Jacobs, yes, I did not see the actual equipped Borg. Any actual equipped Borgs? No, there were no actual drones. So 7 of 9 always regenerated in her alcove, though, right? She regenerated in her alcove, but she still needed to eat food. So her biological components are still require the sustenance. Because she still had Borg implants, they did need to be regenerated or to be recharged. So yes, she did need to go into the alcove, but that didn't feed her. That didn't sustain her, the human part of her. And these XBs, they have like no components left on them, most of them. They're just scarred tissue. So they've taken most of the stuff out. They even made a point of saying in the Free Cloud City episode that Seven is a remarkable specimen. She's got a lot of Borg implants in her, like quite a bit. Probably because the technique that the Doctor used back then was a little bit more primitive. You couldn't get it all out. I'm thinking the Romulans maybe have more. They've got all these years of more experience with the Borg, so perhaps they can take more of the elements out, would be my guess. Project Achieva, what happened to the Romulan staff on the cube? Most of them beamed off onto ships. You saw all the ships in the last episode that warped out. I think most of them got evacuated. Seven was kicking some of them off the ledge there in this one. So a lot of them probably stayed around and got attacked by the XBs, because we saw Larissa get attacked by the XBs before she beamed out. So who knows? I think most of them got off though. Jeff Jacobs, I thought the cube was going to find a way to defeat them. I did too. I love seeing the cube come out of that transwarp corridor. That was just epic. So that was a great scene. I gotta say, the Borg cube scenes in this were good. I just wish there was more of them. Canadian starships. I felt the exchange between Seven and Picard was hinting at a Seven show. Either that or her taking up a bigger mantle or a role in season 2 of Picard. Scarpad Comic Treks. They took What Little Girls Are Made Of and mixed it with iMud and waited 9 episodes for that. Yeah. This whole thing feels like it could have been an episode of TNG so far. Maybe 2 episodes, like, you know. But yeah, it's kind of a unsatisfactory payoff so far. Um, Dave says it's 4 out of 10. It's probably sitting near where I am. I'm probably a 6, maybe a 5.5, maybe even a 5. I haven't really decided yet. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Yeah, it's just this tickle in my throat. I feel like something every time I cough is jarring loose now, but it just very irritating. Some person says I don't plan to watch season 2. I actually think it's worse than Discovery season 2. Why wouldn't you watch it though? That just makes no sense to me. But yeah, if you don't want to watch it, that's cool. Justin Hampton, Trekyards, funny, he did it to Tim Russ in the TNG episode. There you go. Ozzy says Evil Soji is wearing a dress from iMud episode. Is she though? I'll have to take a look at that. I don't know about that. Thribs, you mean the ocarina? Whatever, the whatever of time. You know what I mean. Captain Kenny, thoughts about an older tricorder model? Yeah, we're gonna actually do an episode on that on Trekyards. We've seen production images of that. It actually looks like something that would have belonged on on the USS Franklin from Star Trek Beyond. It's got that old post Enterprise look, but you know, not quite TOS era. So, and why did they leave Dr. Murder, as everybody's calling her, Girardi, to take care of Picard after she murdered Maddox? Like when his eyes opened, he should have been like, ah, don't kill me. That was kind of interesting. And she's not really even a doctor. And that whole thing where Picard's like passed out and he's like, oh, welcome everybody. I thought that was like something on the planet trying to communicate through him. Because you see it all the time in Star Trek where somebody uses one of the people as a voice box kind of thing. That's what I thought was going on there. No, it was apparently his aromatic syndrome or whatever the issue is with his parietal lobe was now kicking into higher gear. But it was played really piss poor because it's after the flower envelops the ship, after the Borg cube comes in. It just felt really weird. People think that he reconnected to the Borg Collective and it was Borg Collective speaking through him. I've heard comments like that. I'm just like, oh my good God, what are you people on? So, yeah, I don't. The way that was written and filmed was piss poor, in my opinion. Rob Rudd, it's not the old ones from TOS. I'm sure the old ones in Picard wouldn't have anything to do with Korba and Sylvia. Korab and Sylvia. Adam Vera, $5. 5 out of 10. I still enjoy it and try not to stay judgy. Good choice. 3-Speed Geek, Romulan Bridge was cool looking. Yeah, I'm sure we'll do an episode on that and the new ship as well. Jason Bullock, could that tricorder be a pre-TNG model? It actually could. It could probably fit in that Lost era between the movies, like Enterprise C, that kind of era. I could see that working for that, but we will talk about that when we get to that episode. Keep an eye on this space. Make sure you're subscribed and click the notification icon so you get notified when we upload, because we'll have a lot of cool videos this week. This is essentially Descent Part 3. Yeah, absolutely. Ozzy says, that why Picard ordered 6 or 7 to fix the long-range scanners to track the Romulan ships coming. Oh, yes. This is definitely tying into Discovery, says Scarpad's Comic Treks. Oh, that's the other thing that Bird of Prey 5 said on Anti Trekkers, and I just was like, oh my god. So they made Spot 2, who's an android, and they're like, how did they know about Spot 1? Did they watch everything that Data did? No, but Maddox and Data were friends after the events of Measure of a Man. If you watch the episode Data's Day, Data's writing a letter to Maddox talking about his day. Because he said he would work with Maddox to help him continue his work. So of course he would know about Spot, and of course Maddox would create Spot 2 as a way of kind of, an homage to Data. So no issues with that. Project Achieva, cut for time, how Narek crashed and got captured. Yeah, well, he crashed with one of the flowers, presumably, but Brian Harvard, for the love of all that's holy, give me some Federation starships. I totally agree. We need to see Federation ships in the next episode, otherwise I'll be pissed. Michael R. says, I really enjoyed it. 8.5. I like the whole opening scene. I like that the crew is coming together and feeling more organic. I like the hot Soji. I like the plot with Brent Spiner or the little that we know. Gotcha. Yeah, hot Soji was hot. Kind of got used to Soji now, and it's kind of like, just Soji. But hot Soji's hot. I gotta say that. Some of the androids are kind of stupid. I gotta say, the one they left in charge to watch Narek, not the brightest bulb on the tree, Mr. Captain 93, Trekyards, does Picard Mechanical Heart come into play with the Golem? They could give us a My Precious scene. My Precious. Don't know. Love the use of the yellow eyes, says Jeff. Yes. Makes me wonder, too, if the evil, sexy Soji is... her name is Katra, I think. Yeah, Jana and Katra. Or Kata. Sutra. Forget her name. It's something like that. It was part of the word, the term Kama Sutra, which is why I was like, oh, I'll remember that. But now I can't remember which one it is. Anyway, yeah, it makes me wonder, though, if she's an android and not a synth organic, because she's got the yellow eyes, she's got the golden skin, so she's more android than organic, would be my guess. Ozzy Maderos, there is still some Borg on the ship because one of the Borg said Picard One of the Borg said Picard when he was Borg. Huh? When he said Locutus? No, he was an XB. You could see that he was not a Borg drone. There were no Borg drones left on the ship. And if there are, we didn't see any of them in this episode. Somebody even yelled Locutus when he was on the Borg cube earlier in the other episode, and it was an XB because it was in the XB area. They know who Locutus is. Meters says I give it a solid 7. Taurus 69, $2. Thank you. 85 likes, 201 watching. Smash the like button. Yeah, we've got 226 here, 104 likes. It's not bad. Not bad. Keep it up, guys. Make sure you hit that like button if you're just coming in. Please hit the like button. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and make sure that you hit the notification icon so you get notified when we upload. Plus, you can join the channel as well. Part of the crew, essentially, help us out. And it is the rank of Commander, Captain, or Admiral. We got quite a lot of people have joined, so if we can get some more, that'd be fantastic. Add some more emojis and stuff for the live chats. Really cool stuff in that regard. So if you want to join the channel, there's a join button as well. So check it out. It's kind of like the Patreon of YouTube, because it's like a YouTube monthly subscription thing to the channel to support us, but it's not Patreon, it's on YouTube. So there you go. Some person says they did Why did they leave Picard alone with Girardi? She just killed Maddox and tried to cover it up. Clearly unstable after the mind meld. Yeah, didn't make sense in that regard. I think Girardi's going to kind of save the day in the next episode and vindicate herself a little bit somehow, because Picard's even like, Girardi, and then they take Picard away. Dreamer out there, Trekyards, what happened to the clown alien, the Andorians, and the Trill lady? I don't know. Maybe they got all murdered. Maybe they're in the brig. Maybe the Romulans like flushed them out into space too. Meters said could have been much better, but it is one of the best episodes so far. I wouldn't go that far. It's up there in like the higher mid-range, but it's not one of the best episodes. It's very much middle of the road, but it's a little at the higher end because we got Brent Spiner and stuff in it as well. But overall, nothing happened, and it was only like 40 some odd minutes long. I expected it to be longer for sure, and it felt like a very hollow, nothing happened episode, even though a lot kind of happened. It didn't quite work for me. I don't know why. It didn't feel right. I know it's part one of two, so once we get part two, then I'll be able to say better why this one was lacking. But I think the next one's going to be pretty much all battle and shoot 'em ups. So, Michael R., I have a feeling they will leave a big cliffhanger. Oh, they absolutely 100% will. They need to draw you in for season 2. Jacob Ticknell, no, he doesn't. Just a cough. Yeah, I have a cough quite often. I mean, if you go back and watch my videos from 4 or 5 years ago, there's times like months on end where I have a cough and then it goes away for like 6 months and then comes back. And I've had one now for like 3 months. I don't. It's a lot of seasonal. I think it's because of the dry air. It really affects my throat. It's not my lungs. It's my throat. So yeah, it's just I don't have the corona. But if I do, please support the channel so I don't die. Colin Bear, if the captain has coronavirus, will my computer's virus filter protect me? LOL, just kidding. Yes, if you have Norton antivirus. Every other one won't work. Ozzy says, I go at 7.5 because of the Borg ship crashing on the planet. That was pretty epically cool, I gotta say. David Catone says 4 out of 10 for Spiner appearance. Yeah, that's one of the things that raised up my score as well a little bit. Alexandra Sandu, 2 episodes of TNG on its own, but if it links back to Control, then some payoff, love or hate it. It won't link back to Control. I get so sick and tired of hearing that. Everybody is either really wants it to link back to Control or is really terrified it's going to link back to Control. I'm the latter. I really don't want it to. And so everybody keeps mentioning Control. It's not going to link into Control at all. If it does, I might literally throw my hands up in the air and say I quit. But I don't think they're going to do that. I can see it tying to season 3 of Discovery, but not going back to Control. Control is just a dead issue at this point. Hopefully. Justin Hampton, Trekyards. Picard did Vulcan nerve pinch in TNG episode Starship Mine with Rem. It's funny because that's on right now. It's on downstairs. I was watching it before I started this live stream. Because yeah, it's got Tim Rust in it. So I don't know. It's one of the reasons Kirk could never learn it. Because it's some funky thing that the Vulcans can do with electrical fields. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I know that's later. They retcon that. So Ozzy, there was a window in sickbay. Yeah, above the, I think it was above the bed. I don't know. Techno Micah, where was Raffi on that one? On what one? Dream out there, Trekyards. What happened to the clown alien, the Andorians, and the Trill lady? I already answered that. We don't know. I think Girardi is a medical doctor, says Thribs. Could be, but I never got that sense. I always thought she was a scientist working with artificial life. So, could be she's actually a doctor. Jeff Jacobs, Dr. Murder left with Picard. Great point. Yeah. Techno Mike, a totally a Q moment. I'm kind of behind on the chat, so I'm kind of catching up. So, Techno Micah, that was a hint that Q will arrive on his deathbed. I can see Q arriving when Picard's dying. Absolutely. Adrian Reynolds, I thought his heart got drained. Drained? Eh? B. Cluett, I thought he was talking to Seven's Collective. No, see, that's an example of bad writing, and I have a feeling I'm going to have to fight with Samuel about that tomorrow too, because he's going to think the same thing. It was more like a delusionary state because of his parietal lobe problem, where he's like, "Oh, welcome, friends. Thank you for joining me." Has nothing to do with the Borg. It was just so ill-timed, and just really bad, really bad. Jacob Tinknell, the Warbirds were meh, and Thribs, where are my Valdors, right? Robert Rose Jr., hasn't Mr. Sci-Fi been on Trekyards before? Robert Picardo is in Space Command. Hasn't Mr. Sci-Fi been on Trekyards before? Who's Mr. Sci-Fi? Maybe in a parallel dimension he was. I don't know.